Buddhism is a path that guides people toward enlightenment, but it is also a system of teachings full of mysteries with many questions that need to be answered. Is Buddhism just a philosophy or a religion? How can Buddhist teachings be applied in daily life? And does Buddhism believe in gods or spirits? In this video, we will answer these common questions about Buddhism, helping you gain a clearer understanding of this path and the profound values it brings. Let's explore together. Is Buddhism a religion? Is Buddhism a religion or a way of life? This is a common question for those exploring Buddhism. Buddhism has no concept of a creator. God, unlike many Western religions, Buddhism does not worship an all-powerful creator. Instead, it explains that all things operate according to the laws of cause and effect, dependent origination and impermanence. Buddhism is a path of practice. Rather than demanding absolute faith, Buddhism emphasizes self-realization, personal experience, and the journey of inner transformation. Each person follows the Noble Eightfold Path to attain liberation from suffering. Buddhism has religious elements. Although it does not worship deities, Buddhism includes rituals, scriptures, and a monastic community. In this sense, it can be considered a religion to some extent. Buddhism, a science of the mind. Many scholars regard Buddhism as a science of the mind due to its emphasis on experiential verification, which aligns with modern scientific principles. Buddhism is both a religion and a philosophy of life, with aspects resembling a spiritual science. Depending on personal perspective, one may define Buddhism in a way that resonates best with them. Why does Buddhism talk about suffering? At first, it may seem that Buddhism focuses too much on suffering. However, the purpose is not to dwell on pain, but to help people understand its nature and overcome it. The Buddha taught that suffering is an inevitable part of life, but he also provided a clear path to transcend it. This is the essence of the Four Noble Truths. The truth of suffering, dukkha. Life is full of suffering: birth, aging, sickness, death, unfulfilled desires, separation from loved ones, and unwanted experiences. The truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya. The root cause of suffering is attachment, craving, and ignorance. The truth of the end of suffering, nirodha. Suffering can cease when we let go of attachments and attain enlightenment. The truth of the path to end. Suffering, smaga. The way to liberation is the Noble Eightfold Path, which includes right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Buddhism does not speak of suffering to promote pessimism or despair. Instead, it offers a way to break free from pain and experience true happiness. By recognizing suffering, understanding its cause, and following the path of wisdom and compassion, we can transform our lives and attain lasting peace. Do you need to become a monk to follow Buddhism? Many people think that in order to practice Buddhism, one must become a monk, leaving behind family and worldly life. However, this is not true. Buddhism is not only for monastics, it is a path open to everyone, regardless of their circumstances or profession. How can lay practitioners practice? In daily life, lay Buddhists can follow the 5 precepts, abstaining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, false speech, and intoxication. These precepts form the ethical foundation that nurtures compassion and builds a peaceful life. In addition, lay practitioners can practice mindfulness, staying aware in every thought, word, and action. One does not need to be in a monastery to meditate or study Buddhist teachings. Even amidst a busy life, one can apply the Buddhist teachings by living ethically, loving others, and helping those in need. The middle way, a path for all. The Buddha taught the middle way, a balanced path that avoids both excessive indulgence and extreme asceticism. This means that you do not need to give up your family, job, or relationships to practice Buddhism. What matters is maintaining mindfulness, cultivating wisdom, and living compassionately every day. Enlightenment lies within you. Buddhism does not require you to leave the world behind. Instead, it encourages you to transform your mind right in your present life. Whether you are ordained or not, anyone can walk the path to liberation by practicing mindfulness, wisdom, and compassion. Enlightenment does not depend on wearing robes or living in a monastery. It is found in how you live each day. Start practicing now in your daily life, because the path to enlightenment is always within your own heart. Do Buddhists need to be vegetarian? In Buddhism, compassion and non-harming are core values. Many people believe that being a Buddhist means following a vegetarian diet. But is this really the case? In reality, whether one follows a vegetarian diet depends on different traditions and personal choices. Mahayana Buddhism, practiced in countries like Vietnam, China, and Korea, often encourages vegetarianism to avoid causing suffering to sentient beings. Meanwhile, Theravada Buddhism in Thailand, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka allows monks to eat whatever is offered, including meat, as long as the animal was not specifically killed for them. Tibetan Buddhism, due to its harsh environment, traditionally includes meat, though some practitioners choose a vegetarian lifestyle. The most important teaching in Buddhism is not about what to eat, but rather about mindful eating, being aware of the impact of food choices on the environment, animals, and personal well-being. Vegetarianism is a way to express compassion, but it is not a strict requirement. Each individual can decide based on their circumstances and level of awareness. Ultimately, what matters most is cultivating compassion in daily life, not just through food, but through every action we take. Does Buddhism believe in gods or spirits? Buddhism does not revolve around a creator god like many other religions, but it does acknowledge the existence of spiritual beings, deities, and celestial realms. However, these beings are not considered all-powerful or eternal. They too are subject to karma and the cycle of rebirth, just like humans. Many Buddhist traditions mention devas, celestial beings or gods who reside in higher realms. They possess greater power and longevity than humans, but they are not immortal and do not hold absolute authority. Like all sentient beings, they are still bound by karma and the cycle of birth and death. In Buddhism, gods are not seen as saviors, but simply as part of the vast cosmic existence. In certain cultures influenced by Buddhism, beliefs in spirits, guardian deities, and ancestor worship remain prevalent. These practices are often a fusion of Buddhist teachings with regional folk traditions. However, Buddhism itself does not emphasize praying to spirits or seeking their protection, as its core focus is on self-awareness and personal growth. While Buddhism acknowledges the existence of supernatural beings, it teaches that true liberation comes from self-awareness, wisdom, and ethical living, not from praying to deities or seeking divine intervention. The Buddha emphasized that the path to ending suffering lies not in the hands of any god, but in one's own efforts to understand life's nature, let go of attachments, and attain enlightenment. Buddhism does not center around worshiping gods or believing in their supreme power. Instead, its teachings guide individuals toward enlightenment through wisdom, mindfulness, and compassion. True peace and liberation are not granted by external forces, but cultivated from within. How to practice Buddhism in daily life. Buddhism is not just a philosophy, but a way of living that fosters peace, wisdom, and compassion. It is a practice meant to be seamlessly integrated into everyday activities. Cultivate mindfulness. Be fully present in each moment. Whether you are eating, walking, or working, bring your attention to the now. This simple habit cultivates clarity and inner tranquility. Embrace ethical living. Follow the 5 precepts. Refrain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and intoxication. These principles promote harmony and personal integrity. Practice loving kindness. Approach life with a heart full of compassion. Offer kindness not only to friends and family, but also to strangers and even those who may have wronged you. Meditate daily. Even a few minutes of meditation each day can deepen self-awareness, reduce stress, and enhance emotional balance. Be generous. Generosity is a core Buddhist virtue. Give without expectation, whether it's your time, resources, or simply a kind word. Apply the Noble Eightfold Path live with right intention, right speech, right action, and right livelihood. This holistic approach ensures a meaningful and purposeful life. Buddhism is not confined to temples or meditation halls. It is a path that we walk every day. Through mindfulness, ethical conduct, and a heart full of compassion, we can transform our lives and bring peace to the world around us.